Oh, the noble Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, then he marched them down again. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. 3v3 is upon us, whether we want it or not. Mostly, we should say, stay off of us, but it is upon us, and if we don't want it to mount us, we're going to have to figure out which teams we're going to take. And 3v3 is a totally different animal than 5s, which I think is part of the reason it's not as popular, frankly. You got to approach it differently. 5s, you want to go more defensive heavy, but in 3s, you can go crazy efficiency style, and it can be frustrating, but there it is. We can figure it out. So that being said, folks, let's get to the game and, mount the algorithm if you can. Hit that thumbs up button and whatever. And one more thing to keep in mind too, I have my defensive teams video that'll be released at the exact same time as this one. So go check that out. There'll be a link in the video description, or if you stay and watch this entire thing, you'll be able to just click on it in the final, like 20 seconds of the video, something like that. So without further ado, let's, whoa, madness, where's my face? That is crazy. Whoa, we're in the game and my face is here finally. Alright guys, so one thing I also want to point out is this is the guide where I show all the Galactic Legends, all of the different teams and everything. This is on my big account, and yes, I have a lot of relics, I have a lot of good mods, and I guess you won't see the mods, but I have all the characters, all of that stuff. So if you don't have all of those things, don't get discouraged. There's two things you can do. Number one, you can keep watching this and plan for the future, because you're bound to have some of these characters, and you're bound to be able to figure out some of the principles that work here. The other thing you can do is wait for tomorrow. I'm going to be putting out hopefully a little more approachable video. I mean, it's still from a bigger account, I guess. It's an 8 million account, but I only have 2 Galactic Legends, and hopefully the teams that I use there will be a little more approachable, a little more reasonable for you. I think there's merit to watching both, but honestly, I know that people get upset because they don't have all the teams that I do, and I don't know what to do. Like, if I show a video with way smaller teams, like they're all the same teams, they're just with less relic levels, frankly. So let's march into it, shall we, folks? 5v5, we want to, like I said, put more on defense a lot of times, but we want to keep more for offense in 3v3 because efficiency play is good, but then there's also a lot of teams that you're just like, man, I don't have like a mid-range counter to this. There's just nothing I can do without taking multiple losses, and so you take more Galactic Legends on offense because they kind of unlock those awkward squads that you're like, man, you know what, I don't want to have to deal with this. I can't deal with this without it being a huge, ridiculous mess. Your GL is going to be like, hey, I'm here to save you. And I'm like, oh, awesome. Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper? And, it'll be great. So Supreme Leader Kylo is one that I'm actually considering putting on defense. This 3v3 is so weird and conditional, folks, because the set 4 had us in its grasp for so long that it's hard to adapt to it. And so I have Kylo here with Crew and Hux. Remember that sometimes you're going to want Watt here instead of Hux or something, and then Hux can go with like your First Order TIE Pilot or Red Troop or something like that. But this is kind of nice just to be able to restrict turn meter and stuff. This is the team that will probably beat like Jabba or whatever. In 3s, Supreme Leader Kylo is able to take out Jabba. It's able to take out almost, I think, all of the GLs actually. I think Supreme Leader Kylo kills everything out there. So remember, he denies people the revive, so like if you're facing Rey and Ben, as long as you can get Rey to yellow, you can just smite Ben with a mighty smiting, and she goes, Ben goes away, even though he has the auto revive, whatever, the auto kill protection, it doesn't matter. Jedi Master Luke is another one that I'm considering putting on defense now that Dash is no longer overpowered. However, Dash actually still kills things on, I mean, still kills this team okay on defense. So, you know, you gotta be careful about that. If people don't know about it, if you're like in Kyber 2 or something, odds are your opponent won't know about it, and you're safe. But if you put it on, keep it on offense, I mean, this team still takes out a lot of stuff. I would say, in general, you're gonna be a little safer. Like, you can take out, like, if you have a set 5 Kron that gives them a ton of protection, then you can still take out Rey, you can still take out a lot of these things, but if you don't have a good Kron for them, maybe just go for more low-hanging fruit, you know, kill like General Skywalker or, you know, Malgus, you could probably take out pretty decently. So careful in 3v3, of course, against Malgus, but this still works against it. Against other GLs, just pause for a minute and think, would Zareth do this? Probably I would, and then I would lose. So that's actually not a good metric, honestly. Now, we have Jedi Master Kenobi, who is, again, like, all these teams are eligible for defense again, because you don't have the obnoxious, like, Darth Vader weirdo counters going on here. However, this team isn't as good in 3v3 on defense, just because, like, Sith Eternal still fries it pretty well. And here's the new thing, guys. There's a new Kron that you can give to smugglers that denies revives. And so, if you're countering Jabba, if that's on your to-do list, then give Cat that one Datacron. It's a level 6 scoundrel one. And then she'll be able to just smite through Chrysanthemum, and then you can get through. And I mean, you've killed like half of the team, because Chrysanthemum would have revived, but she denies it. So really valuable on offense. Also, I mean, I would be surprised if they didn't meander their way onto defense at some point for me as well. Just swap out, like, have musical chairs on Galactic Legends. Sith Eternal, I put Watt here. You can put Watt with Supreme Leader Kylo. Like, I like the idea of having Sith Eternal with like Kylo in the same place, so then you can kind of pick and choose. You're like, okay, well, this person gets Watt and this person gets nothing, because you'll see the armor is probably going to be tied up doing other things because of the Datacron set. But I mean, Sith Eternal, man, he could be really good on defense too. Just load him up with like a health and defense Kron and just set him on defense. Could be good. I have him on offense though, because you have to fry things, guys. I mean, you have to fry new things. We all have to do that, folks. So, Sith Eternal included. You know, this is pretty basic template. You could put like Geobrood Alpha here or something instead if you really wanted. I like the Sith, just so then once they kill Sith Empire Trooper, it resets Sith Eternal. You know, Backpack Emperor, as they like to say. They being myself and all my various versions, I guess. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. Lord Vader does not have set 4 with him anymore. He's got a really cool set 5 Kron that lets him get a bunch of bonus protection, but I think he's still going to, in 3v3 even, be vulnerable to like to the Inquisition and everything on defense. And so the idea here, and I've actually put these on offense and defense. I'll explain the offense portion first. So I guess the first thing I want to point out is that Maul with Canderous, if you get the Canderous Datacron, then you can also get the 20% Datacron, which the way it's worded is kind of funky, but essentially if you can make the armor the weakest, which I mean that can be hard to do, especially if she's Relic 5, she's pretty thick, and Canderous is pretty weedy and weak, but if you can make armor the weakest, you can actually give her 40% turn meter, which in turn is going to help her do all sorts of awesome things with Maul and Canderous. And so this team goes really well on offense or defense for that matter. You just have to make armor the weakest by a little bit. That's just health plus protection at the very start of the match. And then, you know, that works. It also, on offense though, you can actually use armor lead, which sounds crazy, but you put armor lead and you can actually take out General Skywalker teams. I've seen videos of that happening. It's a fairly specialized counter, but it's really neat. And I will be, so watch my videos, watch my streams at least, and I'll be attempting it at least. I don't know if it's going to work, but that is on the to-do list this season. And if that's the case, then Lord Vader, he's diminished now. He's not going to just spam those AoEs anymore. However, on offense, if you can take down Rey for pretty decent banners, actually. I mean, I don't know if you want Thrawn here, if you want like Gideon, if you want like a Stormtrooper, just a third, but you want Royal Guard and Vader, and they can combine to take out most of the GLs now. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily like love life against like Kenobi or whatever, but if you time things right, I mean, you can take down most of these teams, honestly, folks. It's going to be a little bit messier. I wouldn't try Jabba on offense, but this team he's also, like, against General Skywalker if you wanted to, or against a lot of teams. You can just solo things with Lord Vader and get those max banners. So, a lot of good options with Lord Vader on offense. He's not the crazy thing on defense that he once was. We'll talk about his defensive stuff on the other video. Now, Darth Vader is another one who kind of plummeted out of favor here, guys. And so what we're doing is I want to make the most of EP Mara. So they're on defense actually, and you'll see in a little bit. But Ninth Sister has this cool cron where she does an AoE fear, and so this team will take down, this team takes down General Skywalker. Like, everything kills General Skywalker these days, apparently. But, like, this team, Darth Vader doesn't really have a crazy awesome use in 3v3 now that he doesn't have a good cron anymore. And so, having Starkiller follow him around like a puppy, just hitting everything Vader hits, and then Ninth Sister occasionally doing an AoE fear is pretty nice. You got a decent tank who probably isn't going to I guess she'll taunt okay sometimes. The Horn Chinian, and everyone's got the Ninth Sister. And she's, these days because of Inquisition. Maybe if you don't have Ninth Sister, then I am surprised. But yeah, this team, I think it has legs. It should be interesting to see. This might be overkill. It might underwhelm if we're trying to kill Galactic Legends. I think this works. I don't know, guys. We'll have to see. Stay tuned on this one. Okay, so we've got CLS, and CLS is a really interesting one because he has got a good datacron that lets his droids, it's actually a droid datacron for 3v3 that gives all the target lock and all the different debuff spam, and when that happens, Commander Luke and his team gets a ton of turn meter. It gets pretty ludicrous if you get that level 6 droid cron, which I haven't been able to roll yet. It's fairly rare, actually. The values are weighted, which annoys me. But this team is really good if you can roll that. And on offense, this is also a team I put on defense. But the problem is, if your opponent has half competent Imperial troopers, they're just going to mow you the F down, and it's going to make you sad. It's going to make me sad. We're all going to be crying. It's a tragic waste of life, and this team can honestly take down quite a bit if you keep it for offense. So there is that. I recently got him to Relic 8 on offense, or because my guild needs him to be Relic 9 for territory battles. So stay tuned for another video soon where it looks like 9, and you guys are going to be like, really, 9 on him? I don't make that poor of decisions, I hope, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. We've got Padmé next, and it's the Gidmé team, guys. So Gideon goes first, and he reduces everyone's turn meter except for Padmé's Galactic Republic team. He gives everyone who is a support plus 100% protection up, and that translates into 20 stacks of courage, which means you can just auto-delete a lot of characters and teams. So Padmé and R2, they both have attacks that don't miss. You could use Ayla here if you wanted to. You could even use Cup, actually, as long as you have good speed. I like R2 because he can burn people, and if he sets them on fire, he doesn't miss. So it's nice to have that kind of built in. In addition, Padmé could also call R2-D2 to assist as well. It's kind of a fun team, guys. You should check it out. Kills the Commander Luke team up top, actually. She murders her son. It's horrible. Now, if your opponent has that really good set 5 Kron for Lord Vader, I don't know that Fennec is going to be able to hunt him anymore. And so I don't know, like this team seems like it would work against some of the weaker Lord Vaders. Sometimes you want to replace it with Bam here. But the other thing is you can also just swap out Aura Lead and leave Fennec on the bench. Unfortunately, that's an option more and more in 3s because we just can't use our full roster anymore because we have so many characters. But Aura Lead with Grief and Mando actually get you the contract pretty quick, and you can snipe out against a lot of Malgus teams. You can just snipe out Malgus. Usually they won't survive to kill the rest of the team, but this can be a team that can either clean up Malgus or be able to, at the very least, be able to do something something cool to be able to, you know, you can delete full teams sometimes, and against the harder teams, at least you can delete half of it. I kind of like that as an option, just kind of flexible. Aura or Fennec there. Remember, Aura with relics, guys, mod her well. She hits like a truck. I say that all the time. There's not even trucks in Star Wars, but you'll be okay. Now, the Inquisition, this is the split that I like here because we have Ninth Sister with that Starkiller Squad, and this team has a higher win percentage and rate against General Skywalker, well, with the last Datacron set, so who knows, but the new Datacron set is insane if you get the Grand Inquisitor at level 9. It's truly amazing. Like, I think this will be killing Galactic Legends. You'll see on my alt I'm doing it too. But this team has a higher win rate against General Skywalkers. So, I mean, I like this team a lot, and it's going to be really good on offense. If you put it on defense, it's probably also going to do well. Just remember that Traya probably deletes it just as well as Traya deletes almost everything. Okay, so troopers, they're fast again, like they're super fast. They have with the 20% turn meter Kron, they're going to be crazy fast. Whoever the weakest is probably Dark Trooper because he quarters his health and protection, and so he's going to start things off, which is interesting. You don't need really fast mods. I'm not going to change my mods, though. He does have pretty fast stuff. This team is going to kill all the regular stuff. It's just you're going to be able to be way faster than a lot of teams, and so, you know, if you run into like that Maul team or whatever, you might just be able to outspeed it and gun it down. On the other hand, if your Dark Trooper isn't really that strong, if he's kind of weak in the arm, I'd recommend more relic levels, but if not, then maybe look for easier meat. This Hondo team, I have the Datacron, so I'm excited to see what happens. I think this is the team I'm going to start with, actually. I was going to use Old Ben just to give him more dodge, because he dodges at a pretty high rate anyways, then he gets more turn meter, but I think that he's going to benefit more having a scoundrel leader, and L3, like everyone's going to be scoundrels, they can all do scoundrelly things. It's going to be fun. I think that's going to work for me. I really wish I'd been able to put Relic 8 on him instead of CLS, to be honest. But, you know, we have the Omicron on him. I'm fully loaded, excited to use Hondo. He can take out Malgus teams or less. Not all Malgus teams. Like, Malgus teams with DR and Basti probably are beyond him. But otherwise, he's going to be able to do a lot of surprising things. And I'm very excited to have him on offense. Now, Dash is kind of, you know, he's diminished from last time, but this team still kills Jedi Master Luke, actually, as long as young Lando can hit pretty hard and can stealth Vandor as much as you can. This, believe it or not, this team kills a lot, like it can kill Jedi Master Kenobi teams, in fact, because they'll just try to kill Dash and then Dash will revive, and I guess you have to be careful though, because Cat now has the thing that disallows revive, so gotta be careful with that. One way or another though, this team has legs for sure. Still on offense, I like this Jedi Rev and Jedi Luke mace. It's kind of too loaded almost in a way, but remember, if you're keeping all your Jedi, you can kind of be flexible and mix and match if you want, but I like this team because it actually has the potential to snipe out Malgus teams if they're weak enough, because Mace has the Shatterpoint ability to slowly, every time, use Shatterpoint to cut down that max protection. Or is it max health? Is it both? One way or another, though, they're able to take down that Malgus team over time if it's the right circumstances. Otherwise, they're really good for cracking in against teams that have a good Alpha Strike, etc. Wampa just kills everything. You guys know the deal. Afra, I know that most people don't have her because Sana isn't even farmable. It's her name is Santa, guys. It's almost Santa, and she should be farmable. It's after Christmas, but I'll be looking into this team. I have the Datacron. This is another team I want to put relics on instead of CLS at Relic 9, but Territory Battle waits for no man, even though these guys are actually good in Territory Battles too. Platoons, man. Platoons are good. Traya, I put this squad on offense and defense as well. I don't know what to think, guys. Here's the breakdown of Traya. So we got all that hype about Traya deleting Lord Vader, right? The problem is Lord Vader really boosted that team up to to 1,000,000 because of all the crazy debuffs that he was putting out there by spamming his AoE. He won't spam his AoE in data set or without data set cron set 4, and you also benefit from having 5 characters who are being hit by debuffs, and in 3v3 obviously you only have 3, so she's not going to be as crazy with her Omicron on defense or offense. On offense, she's still going to kill about the same stuff, honestly. I think she'll be stronger for sure. You'll ramp up damage. You'll start one-shotting some things here and there, but just don't expect the crazy heroics that you did in the perfect storm of 5v5 where she's fighting someone who's just ramping her offense to the moon or whatever they have in Star Wars. I think they have moons. They have small moons and they have Death Stars. There's Mothma with, so I'm putting Scout here with Mothra instead of Cara Dune. Cara Dune has a new place with Santa, as you guys will see in a little bit, but Kyle Katarn makes the team, and then you could put Bist in here. You could put a lot of different characters here. It's not as awesome in 3v3 as it is in 5v5, but still does some cool stuff. As long as you're, the team just goes as Kyle Katarn goes. Get him to Relic 8, guys. Don't be like me. don't put Relic 8 on CLS. You know what? CLS is great at Relic 8, honestly, guys. Really is. Relic 9, it's questionable. Now, I recently put Relic 5 on Talia. I don't know what to tell you about that decision making. I'm interested to see. I think Talia is actually better than Spirit is in 5v5, so I'm gonna replace Talia. Replace Spirit with that, but in 3v3 that actually gives me 2 different teams. Remember, Old Doc and Zombie might just hang out with Supreme Leader Kylo or Sith Eternal, depending on what you need. So sometimes maybe you'll get Talzin in here with Asajj and Spirit or something. I put the Omicron on Asajj. Like one way or another, we're gonna split these guys up. I think Talzin, like this team, I think should probably just ramp up to kill most General Grievous squads actually. And then the Asajj team, who knows what it kills? I'm very interested to see. I think I want to try one of these, or maybe some combination against Qui-Gon Jinn this season. Okay, Iden just deletes all the rebel teams that aren't Radis, remember. She also delete, like killing the Mon Mothma team is really nice. If you put them on defense, Wampa just eats it, so it's sad. This is just a random, like, hey, look, we still have some Relic Jedi stuff. Like, these guys are okay. I like that they all have a Dispel, and you can call people to assist with 2 of them, and I don't know, they're just kind of cool together. It's not an overpowered team, just something to keep in mind. It's something that a lot of people have, actually. Maybe not Relic Ezra, but, this team, even at lower relics, is going to have legs just because of Basti's protection up ability. And then we have, so Jedi Training Rey, she's in an awkward place. Like, you could put her with, like, I don't have her with BB-8 because BB-8 has a different team. So usually I put BB-8 with Sortie in 3s, but Sortie has a different team now with Datacrons and stuff, and so BB-8 can go back with Jedi Training Rey, but then Padmé has R2-D2, so you could put Hero Finn here, you could put, like, Nest here if you want, like, whatever. I mean, this team does okay on offense. This would be like a last-ditch attempt, right, guys? Like, this, maybe put, like, Veteran Han here instead, actually. If he has decent relics, then you can actually finish off, like, Jedi Master Luke on his own, for instance, because you have the healing immunity. So, like, you can make it work, kind of. I think Veteran Han is actually a better choice here. I should edit that, but I'm not going to. And then Nest, remember, this is on offense. She can usually find something to solo, and she wants some kind of lead. We have Kira with that Hondo team above. So just remember, Finn is actually a great plug-and-play leader, and he gives everyone you know, defense, offense, and potency at 60%, but then everyone else gets half of that. So Nest would get 30% defense, offense, and potency, which is pretty nice. I mean, Finn is going to die, but what you going to do? If you need a little boost, Finn's your guy. Or you could use, like, I don't know, Sidious could do it. And there's a lot of different characters. I mean, even Greedo does okay. So, anyways, those are the teams for offense, folks. Let's go talk about defense now. Hit that button if you want. Come with me. I'll see you in a bit. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.